We're now moving on to stage 4 of the instructions, and for this one we need to make 2 new parts, and they're both pretty simple beams. So what we're going to do is open one of those early parts, the corner beam, and then we're going to resave that as a copy and modify it. So let's open this original corner beam part. When you've got it open, let's save it as a copy by going to File, Save As, and then choose Save as Copy and Open. Then I'm going to change the name, and it's a beam and it's 7 long, so I'm going to call it beam 7 long. And just as a double check, make sure you've got Save as Copy and Open, and then press Save. You can then close the original file if you want to. Now we're going to modify this part in a similar way to how we did with some of the other parts. So I'm going to drag up the rollback bar to below the first feature. You don't have to do this, sometimes it just makes it a bit clearer to see what exactly you're working on. Then I'm going to click on that first feature, and I'm going to edit the sketch underneath. For this one, it's just a single beam. It's got 7 holes, so we don't need any of this stuff on the right, so you can drag a box around that and delete that. All we need is this along the bottom, and that's really all there is to it at this stage. So you can exit that sketch, and you'll probably see something like this. Now actually, if we look at the part, we do want to extrude the hole on the left. So what we'll need to do is edit the actual feature this time instead of the sketch. So edit that beam feature. And then in the selected contours, just click in this box so it's active, and then just click on the inside of that circle on the left to deselect it. So we want to extrude something like this, so it's a beam with 7 holes in it. Then we can drag down below the next feature. This is the axle cut, but in this part we don't actually have an axle cut. So we can just completely delete this feature. So click on it and press delete, and you can also delete the sketch that's underneath it. Then next we can add the hole surround, so let's drag down again. We can see we're missing one of the hole surrounds on the left, and we've also got some kind of warning on the sketch. So let's click on that feature and let's edit the sketch underneath it. And now if we go to a normal 2 view, you can see we can delete all of this stuff on the right that we no longer need. When you remove those, your sketch might become underdefined. So if your entities turn blue like this, just use the smart dimension to add in another dimension. And then I'm just going to get the circle tool, and I'm going to add another circle on the left here where it's missing. So draw a circle there, set the rough size, and then select that circle and one of the other circles that's already fully defined and make those equal. So we should have something like this. All of the holes, I've got those wider circles. You can then exit the sketch, and we should have all 7 of those hole surround cuts. Then we can drag back down below the next feature, the cavity cut. Again, we're missing a cavity on the left, and we've got some kind of warning on the feature. So let's click on the feature and edit the sketch underneath. And if I go to a normal 2 view, again, we can delete all the stuff on the right that we don't need. If you lose any dimensions, just re-add those in. And then all we need to do is just add one more large circle here on the left. So you can use the circle tool to do that, and you can make it the same size as the other ones by using that make equal relation. And your sketch should look something like this. So let's exit the sketch. If you find that your feature isn't created properly, like mine here, what you can now do is edit the cavity cut feature itself. So click on the feature and press edit feature. And then in the selected contours box, just clear all of the existing selections. And then choose those gaps between all of the holes. And we're going to be cutting the same depth, which is 3 millimeters. When you've got all of them selected, just press OK to make that cut. And then let's drag down again below the fillet. So we can see we're missing fillets here on the left. We've also got a warning on the fillet feature, and that's because we've removed some of the edges that were previously filleted. Click on that fillet feature and press edit feature. For me, a warning popped up that said we're missing some edges. These edges have been automatically removed for me. But if you have edges in the box here on the left that have got warnings, then you can just delete those manually by selecting them and pressing delete. And then it's just a case of adding those 4 extra edges on the left here. So we should have all of those internal edges, and then press OK, and that feature is made. Then finally we can drag down below the last feature, the mirror, and we can see that everything has been mirrored correctly onto the other side. So this part is finished in terms of modeling. Now let's just change the color as usual. So open the Appearance, Scenes and Decals tab. Let's choose a green color, which is pretty close. Then let's go to the Display Manager and edit that appearance, and let's change the color to be a bit closer to the real life one. And then this part is complete, so you can save it. In the next video, we'll be making a very similar part to this. It's basically the same part, but it's only 5 long instead of 7 long, so that should be a very quick one.